Good evening, everyone. So it's another time for to talk with SFA, and on this show, what you'll be having is unfiltered truth story about people, their experiences, their life challenges, and how God helped them out and brought them back to purpose, back to discovering themselves, back to living the best life that they can. So yeah, on this show today we'll be having another wonderful guest in the house in person. Well, let's wait till we have her here and then okay.
Pele.
Look, welcome.
Network, Nigeria
Has
network.
been oh Lord, it's very, very wonderful. Let's just say something else. To say I've been trying to get this up for a while
As in,
and then to start now becomes drama.
that's just how it can be
Then we
sometimes.
are here.
Thank God we are here. Oh.
Yes, so
Yeah.
we are finally here.
Yes.
No more postponing.
I thought.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Welcome SFA.
Yeah.
On this show, we're gonna have another episode where we are having somebody very wonderful with us our life experiences and where do we start from? uh
So many,
I
so
don't know where to
many, so
start
many
from because
things.
I know your story is very deep and it's something everybody needs to something everybody would learn from. Is
Yeah.
where do I anyways, okay, so first question will be that um in the journey of life, one thing I realized is that the way we're brought up actually has an effect in the way our life journey eventually turns out.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that some of us, the reason why we got into having this kind of experience is that because of some of the that we have as a child, probably for some, different kind of abuses, from some parental neglect, a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I would like you to share with us which aspect of this whole thing did you experience as a child before we now even dive to the aspect of being older, so please
Yeah.
share with us.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Ma, for this opportunity to be here. Like I always say, it's
Mm,
important that we share our stories so that God can get the glory. Because the fact is, where we were is not where we are now, and we are grateful to God for that. So yes, growing up as a child, I would say, so as then growing up, I wasn't so close to my dad. I would say what they call daddy issues. I used to have a lot of daddy issues then because I didn't really have a very strong relationship with my father. And as a child, as a girl child, it's as much as the mother is important, the father is also important in helping build the girl's child's confidence and even her self-esteem. And
definitely.
yeah, and I didn't really have so much of that because not because my dad wasn't available. My parents are married, they are staying together, we all grew up together and all like that. But my dad was his own was provision. He felt like if he had provided for me, it was enough. If I've provided your school fees, your food, there's nothing more. But I would say then he didn't understand better. He didn't know that, sorry, that it was more than being able to provide basic needs like physical needs. There
Right.
was also the part of emotions, being there to help your child. And at least he did well. I will not say my dad did well because I remember then as a child on Sundays, that time, the time of Mr. Biggs. My dad sometimes after service, he would say, "Oh, let's
Mm,
drive down to Mr. Big and we'll have ice cream and meat pie." I used to look forward to those days then, even up till now that as an adult. he still does that, making sure that every Sunday we have something. But that, you understand, he did so well as a father. He actually has done so well. But emotionally, I would say when it came to, especially after when I was abused as a child by 3 years, I feel like it was the first time he was getting to hear
Wow.
that. Yes, so that one, the person was caught in the act. It's not like
Mm.
they said the person was caught in the very act. I was,
Wow, really?
yes, I was laying on the floor.
How did that happen?
We're watching TV. Okay, so my parents had a visitor that day. We're staying at the, them face me, I face you. My parents had a visitor that day. And then okay, they were like, I want to go and because we have his parents and my parents, we have the same tribe, you understand? So they're like, okay, go and
Okay.
play with them. And yes, go and meet them downstairs. So they were in the second floor, we were at the first floor. So and then I went there. So they were
Mm.
watching movie. So all of a sudden, I just had the play became another type of play because he was older. I was like in his almost, I think it was in his tens or almost 13 then. No, it wasn't up to 13. It was like in his tens, that very curious age and all like that. So he just put me on the floor, laid me down on
Mm-hmm.
the floor, was trying to do the nonsense he has been seeing, watching on TV on me. And then his elder sister walked in and she was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, yeah, she first beat him. She beat the hell out of. It's so funny how I can remember. It's so funny how we can remember those experience so
You
vividly.
can't
And you cannot.
forget.
You cannot forget. So that was one. And
And
then
just does not go.
he said, I'm listening to you, man. He said what?
I said no matter how young you
Yes.
are when you have kind of experiences
Yeah.
that affect
Yeah.
and it just does not go well.
Yeah, it doesn't. You somehow will just remember it. You somehow will just remember it. So that was one. So the old drama, they called his parents. My parents were also involved, and then they all charged us. So that kind of brought a stain on the relationship between the families. So I was no longer allowed to go outside. So I was now get inside. You understand? Go to
Wow.
school, come back, and that was it. That was it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing a video. Bye bye. Bye bye. So I was not, I became get inside though.
Mm,
And I don't after school in the house, after church, in the house, if my father catches you downstairs,
mm,
you collect. So that was how it was for me.
mm,
And then up until no 9, yes 9, up until 9 when we newly moved into my dad's house here. And then my cousin that used to stay around. So we used to go there because our place was a little bit like 2 streets away from that place. So we go there to just while away time because we're new to the area, so we're always going there. And then out of his own curiosity again, he did his own. And then this time around, my mom noticed it because be in the room, I shall be scratching. When did this one start? Why are you scratching?
mm,
And then she started asking me questions. She woke me up one night and she was like, sorry. She woke me up one night. I was like, that thing that happened that time, as it happened again. And I said, yes, with who? And I told her the person. She was first like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, I was scared, like you're not going to believe me or you were not. Because that first incident, I knew my parents did their best. They didn't really handle it well because it was like you about it. And it's sort of like just laid it stick. So I was scared of what it was going to be like. He actually ended up, my parents reached out to his parents, see what went on, see what went on, and all like that. At first, he was denying it, and the parents were like, my daughter cannot lie about anything like that. Somehow, for a while, restrained that relationship too. So that was like, and you know, the funniest part is that happened when I was about to can you hear me?
yes, I can. Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. So it
Yes,
happened
I
when I was
can.
about to go
Yes.
into secondary school.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It happened when I was about to go into secondary school. So that one, then the fact is when those things begin to happen to you, you become so very aware. Become so sexually aware. And then that's when the devil now begins to bring in things like masturbation. So that was where I actually started. I started masturbation at a very young age. I started masturbation at the age of 9, 10, because my mind
Wow.
was open. I was seeing a lot of things around me that wasn't encouraging. And the fact is, ah, there was a time my mom actually got to find out, and she spoke to me and she was like, it's not good, I should stop it. You understand? She didn't want to be harsh. She handled it in the best way that she knew she could. So that was it. But at some point I would stop and then to come back again. And then I would just see myself I was addicted to it. I was really addicted to it. And because the fact is, it affected even my relationship with fellow guys. I always felt like, and then having friends that were not
They
really
just want to.
encouraging too.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
sorry.
So that's just the thing. Well, so many experience. Oh, you give God the glory, yeah.
So, how did you handle the aspect of you beginning to feel like they just wanted to use you at that point? What was the feeling like for you? How did you handle those
Yeah.
when the advances came? How did you handle it?
The funniest part is actually at first time
Because of course,
I was re- I was rejecting the advances, but I didn't
mm,
want to be alone. I was no longer having friends. Like the male friends, they didn't want to talk to me. Female friends felt like I was being too holy
mm,
holy, I was being too religious. So at some point I had to succumb. That's another part where I didn't have anybody to talk to, that this was what was going on. This was what was troubling me or something. So I literally had to succumb
mm.
to what the society, what they were asking of me, and all. You understand? I had to, at some point, even when I was
What the
young.
society wanted.
Yes, at some point when I was young, I remember then, even a female friend of mine, she was very, very vocal too. That was when. So sometimes when I see all these lesbianism stuff, I be like, the devil's a liar. Devil's demonic. That was a very demonic thing. But she introduced me to
Very, very. Mm. Mm.
all like that. And that's not true. Especially when there's nobody to help you understand what is going on. You think maybe you are cursed or something. I think there was even a time
Mm.
that one of the pastors in my church told my mom that when my mom told her some of the experiences I've had as just as little I was not even up to 10 years then, as this was what was happening to me. She was like, I think your daughter is cursed. But if not for the kind of mother I have, my mom was like, nah, picky when I born. No, she's not.
So don't be like
She's
picking their
not.
first.
No be picky when I born.
But that's a very good one because for some parents they will actually believe that that child is cursed, and that may be too much
That was actually
for
true.
parents. And,
That's actually true. So it just happened, and then up until my teenage age, having boyfriends and all those things. In fact, I would say I was somebody that was easily pushed by peer pressure. Like I wanted to be amongst my friends. I wanted to do what my friends were doing then, because I
mm,
felt like I needed somebody to see me. You understand? I felt like I
mm.
wasn't being seen. My low self-esteem
Being,
was down. Yeah, so I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be friends with somebody. So I didn't mind doing anything. I didn't mind going any level just to be friends with that person. I didn't mind just so that the person can be my friend. I didn't mind doing anything. That was just how bad it was. And nah, it's not something that I advise to anybody.
Oh, well, that's. I don't even know what to say to that because low self esteem is another aspect to deal with entirely,
Huh.
and it's
Yeah.
a whole. Well, I think
Yeah.
let's start from how did you now handle your low self esteem eventually?
Hmm. I would say it is as much as we all try to say there are steps to it, but I'll say it's God. It's all God, and it's something that I will not say I am 100% sure I've become 100% confident in myself. I'll say I'm about, let me say, 65 to 70% because because it's a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey actually because that low self-esteem followed me up until when I even got married. With the you
Mm,
understand, I just wanted somebody to see me. So when I was dating him at that time, it was like he was the only person that was seeing me. He would take me out, he would buy me things. That was my definition of love. You understand? That was my definition of somebody seeing me, wanting to spend time with me, calling me, checking up on me. That was my definition of what love was then. So it was easy for me to have fallen for him. I just wanted someone to see me, and he was seeing me. So it was something else when we got married, and then the whole attitude became something else, and it changed completely. And I was like, wow, where did the caring person disappear all of a sudden? What happened?
wow.
No, that moment when they say, what's your dad versus what you got?
Yeah,
What's
so
your dad versus what you
well,
what your dad versus what you got? That was exactly what it is. And it was just the first year of marriage, and it was so terrible. And we were in so much fights. And the funniest part is that while we were dating, I saw the signs. It's not like I didn't see it. I saw the
mm,
signs, but I saw the red flags. But so for somebody that has gone through so many um things that has brought down our self-esteem, even the red flags at some point start looking like green flags. So I saw the
mm,
red flags, not like I didn't see them. I saw it, but I felt like, it's just someone that cares so much. He just likes to care
mm,
about people. I didn't
mm,
know that it was beyond it. So when we got into it, at some point, even when I knew that what he was doing was wrong, just because I didn't want to lose that marriage, I would
him.
swallow it in up until when I couldn't take it any longer. And I remember that prayer I prayed. I said, God, if by any chance I have made a mistake by being in this wrongly, bring me out of it. And that was like a prayer. A
Wow.
prayer came from deep down inside my heart. I was not too long after. It
Mm,
was not too long after that prayer that everything just went from point zero to point 100. Like it just went, like everything
mm,
happened so fast, and I was losing on everything entirely. And when I came back home to my parents, it was a different ball game entirely. For like 2 years, I didn't know who I was. I was depressed. I wasn't sure what I wanted. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. But it was at that point, yeah, that's 2021. 2020, 2021 beginning, I was still trying to act, oh, I'm a baby girl, I'm a big girl, I can take care of myself. I was getting into
mm.
relationships that didn't even make any sense. I didn't want to
And
listen to God. A lot of persons were saying, I should take time, I should listen to God. But I felt like that was going to like hinder me, that was going to delay me. I just wanted to be married again quickly. I just wanted to leave the shame, the talks that people were
you
giving.
like to prove a point.
Exactly. I wanted to
Exactly.
just be
Like to
I
prove
was
a
running
point.
from the stigmatization that was coming from one, getting
Mm,
pregnant, getting married, and a year after, in fact, I came back to my parents'
mm.
house a week before the week to my 1 year anniversary. That was how bad it was. So it didn't even reach 1 year gone. Yeah,
Wow.
so
Ah,
it
the marriage did not reach
not reach
1 year.
1 year. I came back. Oh, I came back
Ah, that's
to.
a lot.
I think I came back to Lagos
Wow.
November 5th or 6th, and my wedding anniversary was supposed to be November 17th. So It was like a week or some days. That's just it, and it's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. But then in 2020 and 2021, the beginning, like towards yes, the beginning of 2021, I was still struggling with. I was still trying to get into relationships. I got to do several relationships, but they all were not serious, and that even broke me more. It broke me more, and in fact, I think God was just watching me get to a point where I was. There was no self at all. There was nothing.
Yes, yes, I can.
Yeah. So there was no self-esteem at all. And it was just in my walk with God from 2021 up until now. It has been God taking me from one place to the other. And in fact, I would say my self-esteem now is better than it was because I have learned how to see myself from the way God sees me. I have learned how to see myself from God's eyes. Yes, that's the word. I decided to stop seeing myself the way the society sees myself or the way I think I know myself. I started seeing myself in the way God sees me. So that was one of the things that helped me really come out of the low self esteem. Yes, that's one of the things.
This issue of how the society sees us,
That,
is another part to go in entirely.
yeah.
You know, so I ask that period when you got pregnant, you got into. Let's talk about when you got pregnant first. How was the reception like? Cause from people like the looks, the in fact, I just tell us about it because I can relate to some of those things. And it's just very weird how people just you are the one going through something, but they are the one giving you the look and the face and the everything, not minding what your emotions is even. Almost.
Yeah, very true, very true, very true. Um, the fact is, I was into modeling, and that was how I met my baby's father. That was how we met. Actually, he's a photographer. I was a model then, so he was my official photographer. So he started up as a photographer model kind of relationship up until you understand. So when I got pregnant, actually, that should I shock you? That was the time my mom was being ordained as a deaconess. So I came back from Benin. I came back from Benin. I came back from Benin to Lagos because of my mom's ordination. And
Wow.
I was in Lagos like a week after ordination. I should just told her that since I got back, I've been feeling unwell. There's how my body's doing me, like something's making noise in my tummy. Maybe his mommy was like, I should go and
Hey,
buy antibiotics and take. I was like, man, I'm not a medicine person, I beg.
yes.
So Asha was just falling sick, falling sick. That was after the ordination. No. After Asha I just knew that I was falling sick. Ha. My mom now say, come, let's go and check whether you have malaria and typhoid. As we go there, my dad, I don't even know that my dad told the doctor to do pregnancy test. So apparently, my dad told the doctor
Mothers,
to
they will
do
never
pregnancy
disappoint.
test. Like it was like this is not this doesn't look normal.
I've been
So
doing modeling up and down. Okay, now.
it's not even that one that made him do it. Oh. Like something just told him that he should
Hmm.
do pregnancy test. And as that the doctor didn't tell us that he did pregnancy test too. So he just told her that okay, you have small malaria, you have small typhoid. They gave me administered medicine for me. As I go home like this that night, my father just said, so that's what you are doing up and down in Benin. I was like, what am I doing up and down? He said,
Hmm.
you're pregnant. I said, preg. He said, yes, you're pregnant. I told the doctor to do this. And you're pregnant. I'm like, I'm pregnant. He said, yes. Ah,
Hmm.
Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. And should I shock you? That particular time, me and this particular guy, we are going through serious breakup. Like, it was a serious one. Like, when I left Benin, we had already broken up. It was over. Yes. So, so, so when I found out I was pregnant and find out that there's a being inside my tummy. I am not taking it out. The first day to myself. So I already made that promise to myself
Hmm.
personally. So I just called it Alpha CEO. This was happening. No, I'm pregnant. It was like, you are what? I said, I'm pregnant. It was first, hey, I'm going to be a daddy. I'm going to be a daddy. In my mind, this one was ready. But you can be ready and not be ready.
Of course.
Yes, you can think you are ready age wise, but psychologically and mentally you are not ready. Yeah. So that's like a whole ball game entirely. But when my church got to my parents are my dad's a pastor, my mom's an elder now. So when my parents my
Okay.
father first asked me, what's your plan? I say, I'm not taking it out. He said, what do you mean by you're not? I say, I'm not taking it out. My father was like, okay, that's your decision, but not in my house. This, that, this. So they called him that I should come. What's his plan? He said, okay, he wants to get married to me. No problem. That's my dad. Said, okay, let's fix wedding date, November. Before the time you start showing, let us do wedding. So we fixed that was it was in I think that was in
Fine.
July or August. So we fixed the wedding for November. So my church people, first of all, when they got to find out I was getting married, and first of all, we did not come to church for counseling and all like that, and the church was not aware. Second of all, they now got to find out that I
Hmm.
was not getting married because I was pregnant. Oh Jesus! Like they almost took my father.
I can't even.
As it was not easy for my parents. It was in fact, it was an entire case. A lot of persons that that normally they don't even have mind to talk to you anyhow. They were talking to my parents anyhow,
Hmm.
side talks, gossip. I couldn't even go to church. All the times I was at home, I didn't go to church. I had to stay home because, and then during the introduction, then a lot of persons came. They're like, that why did I come to church now? That no matter what anybody's saying, this, that, this. Although I still had a lot of persons that were on my side. A lot of persons called in. You don't need to get married. You can just have the child. You don't need to get married out of. I know it's because of the child you are getting married. You're still too young. You can just keep the child, and then your life can still go on. I wish I listened to that advice, but I just wanted to get married to cover up the shame I had brought to my family. That was one reason why I got married. Like I knew I'd already caused chaos. So marriage was like the only way that could, that moment when you have an injury and rather than taking like treating it properly, and yes,
Fifteen it.
you
You just
just
want
use
to.
nylon and
Hmm.
cover it like this and say I've covered it, nobody will know. When it to start smelling out,
Hmm.
when the smell of the this thing sorry, when the smell of the injury start coming out, people say, what's smelling? That's exactly what I did.
Really?
Like I didn't handle it the right way. But it's all part of the lessons that we have learned. It's all part of the lessons. But
Hmm.
can you hear me?
Okay, we lost you.
The network,
We've
don't
lost
mind.
you for a while, so
Okay, I'm back now. I'm back now.
uh,
Okay, so I am back. No mind my wonderful daughter. So yes,
So I can.
yeah. So that's just it basically. Eh, what do you want to go to the parlor? So that's it. We thank God. We are far from what we
Alright.
should be.
Mm. Alright. So there was one question that dropped in my mind while you were speaking. The aspect of where you said you were trying to you were trying to find love, trying to find. Would you say that? Because I, from my research and from what childhood experiences are, it is important that it is important that the father is present in the life of the child.
Yeah.
And from what you said, it was in your life.
Mm.
Well, maybe the relationship was not really there.
Yeah.
The she what love is, and to teach you why, what to look out for in love, or what to look out
Yeah.
for in a man, kind of.
Yeah.
So I think that could have been what affected you, that made you to start looking for the love and all of that.
Yeah.
Was that part of the reason why you had the low self-esteem and was trying to find love?
Yeah, so like I said, he actually did his very best in taking care of us. He did so well. Like I even mentioned the part of him taking us to Mr. Biggs and all those places. That was my father's definition of love.
Mhm.
Love has different definitions for everybody. So like just like we have
Yeah.
different love languages. For some persons it's gifts, for some persons it is quality time, for some persons it is let's say like communication, when you communicate, when you talk, understand. So I would say my I think his love language for my dad is gifting. Like, you understand, when it's your birthday
Okay.
we give.
So he was loving you the way he knew how.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He loved me in a way he knew that he knew, like, that is what love should be. But you understand?
That,
But as a lady, sometimes you just need that I love you. You need that. How are
and the
you?
affirmation.
Give me a hug. My dad, growing up, my dad was not somebody I could hug. Like, no. I was my father, I'm running away. My dad was very strict growing up. My dad was very, very strict
Wow.
growing up. So as much as he did all that thing for us, sorry, please excuse me. So as sorry, no mind Amora, she's told me. So as much as as much as that was his own definition of love, giving. And then at least his presence is there, we are seeing him. You understand? But you see all those, how was school today? How are you? Come, how are you crying? I did that. Like, some of those things, talk to me, or all those playful. So who is your best friend in class? Who is that boy that I like to talk to in class? All those little questions that you just ask your child to just know where they are actually in life and stuff like that. There was nothing like that. So I always wanted, aside from the gifting, I always yearned for that communication, that affirmation. So once a guy is giving me that, oh, I like, you're beautiful,
Attention.
exactly, that attention, I saw it as love. Like, to me, it was love. That attention was love, and then
Yeah.
now add gifting again, and my dad used to do, it's double love. That's how I felt. That was why that was how I felt. I felt like that I just needed someone that could see me, someone that could affirm me, someone that could say those sweet words to me, because I needed to hear those words, and I don't even know why then, because now I can tell myself, and Jesus has told me already. So that's
So as
just
a
it.
child, is
Well,
needed.
yeah, as a child, it's very, very needed. Even as the fact that me and my baby's father are not together. I like that fact that, okay, once in a while when he can communicate with her, they have that conversation. I love you, I miss you, all those things. At least whenever he's around, she can see that, okay, he cares for her. I don't disrupt their father and daughter time, because I want them to have it, because I know how important
Time.
it is for
Mhm.
her. Yes, because I know how important. He might not be here physically all the time, but that communication It's very important. Yes. So that's just it basically. That was one thing that made me get into a lot of wrong relationships. Once you just tell me, I like you, I love you. All those words just I don't want to see the red flags. It's green flag on the way. That
Green
was
flag.
even if I know, but thank God the guys I was with, they were never physically abusive, but a lot of them were emotionally abusive and psychologically abusive mentally. In fact, they
Mm.
toyed with my emotions, and because they knew that I was someone that when I love deeply, they would use that to their advantage. Yeah, so that's just it.
I
Um,
was making I was making a research recently on father daughters love, and I realized that you see that for every child, that thing that you did not have becomes an alpha. Like
mm,
when you when another person approaches you with that same thing, you see it as alpha. You don't see every other thing. You don't see the red flags. You don't see the red flags. You don't see what person is doing wrong. As long as that person is doing that particular one, you are okay. You're okay with it.
yeah. Yes, true.
You're okay. It does not matter.
Yeah,
And at the end
true,
of the day,
true.
it kind of opens up other things that are not always palatable most of the time. But then,
Yeah, yeah.
what you do, sometimes decisions have been made.
That's just the thing. Especially when the both partners are not healed from childhood trauma. It affects
Yeah.
a lot. It does affect
That,
because on my own side I had mine. He also had his own. So it was like clash of childhood trauma. It was a clash of childhood
exactly.
trauma.
Exactly. I think that was what really prompted my last episode of I think there was this series I was running on Sholape's diary.
Yeah.
It was childhood trauma series or exposing what childhood trauma is. And that was what really prompted that video, because if you don't heal from your childhood trauma, it's going to affect your decisions in life, decisions of how you
Yeah.
handle things in a life partner, a lot of things like that. And that's why we keep advocating that heal yourself, or heal
Hello.
heal your heal heal your childhood experiences. So that brings us to, what was your experience like in marriage? Like, what exactly was the experience like? Like, I know you've briefed me about, when we talked
Yeah.
about it, it was a lot. Like, but then, share with us, how was that one year like? Like, what? Give us
Hmm.
1 year was like.
Okay. The fact is, maybe it's now, shall, but I think somehow God has helped me to begin to see to love people as Christ loves us. Because then I would say that 1 year looked like 1,000 years. Forgive me, because it wasn't what I expected. I always envisioned my marriage to be lovey dovey, me and him. When I'm preggy, he's by my side, rubbing my tummy. We are gisting, we
Mm,
are doing this. I always envisioned that. But when you now get to be with somebody that, ah,
mm,
at every time he gets opportunity, he will just throw, those kind of words that are like knife, sharp knives that pierces your
mm,
heart. He will just throw
mm,
it at me. I remember one day he was leaving the house, and his question to me was, what if I leave and I don't come back again? I said, what do you mean by what if you leave and you don't come back again? And he's like, I said, nothing will happen to you. And I said, God forbid you will not die. He said, no. What if I leave you, like I leave you, literally leave you, and I don't come back to you again? I was like, ah. And as he said that thing, he just walked away. Ah,
mm.
God,
What did
like,
I do that you just leave?
exactly. And should I shock you? That morning was very good. For I thought we were good though, because before he
Mm.
left, married people now. He gave me one dose of the something before he left. So in
Wow.
my mind, I'm like, even after the something, you're still asking me what if? That was like the height. And aside from that, there were so many times, like even when I came back to my parents and we're having so many clashes, and it was like the suicide, because I like twice I was suicidal because first of all, I had started from the depression I was going through in marriage. I was also going through postpartum depression, like having a child and all, then getting to see a lot of the atrocities he was doing in my very before and all like that. Those things did not encourage me in any way. In fact, they made me worse. They made my self-esteem go. In fact, it washed it away completely. The remaining one that was there, because I felt like I wasn't worthy of being loved, that I was deceived. I felt like I was deceived into it, because one of the reasons why I decided to settle with him, because I saw him as somebody that loved me. You know, couples fight. That was like, even when we had that fight before I found I was pregnant, I was like, okay, couples fight, normal, we have disagreements. So I saw it as one of those disagreements that we'll have. But I think that was a sign for me to know that it wasn't really going to work. But like I said, when your self-esteem is down, even red flags look like green flags. You begin to give excuses for their mistakes. So many things. In fact, marriage was an eye opener for me, because I saw a lot of things I saw while we're dating amplified. That's why I used to tell persons that whatever you're seeing now, it will amplify you. It's like
Yeah.
times 1,000 when you get married. I was seeing
Even
all
the
these
one that
things,
you're
but
admiring before, you now realize that, wait, what am I admiring? This thing.
what was I thinking? So that's just it. So but that 1 year was a lot. 1 year. That's, imagine the prayer. No, you just try and imagine what would have made me pray that prayer, that Lord, if I have made a mistake, and then if I've made a mistake, please save me. Please save me. Please save me. That was what I was saying. I was like, save me from this thing. If I've made a mistake, please save me. That's what I was just saying. And it wasn't, it wasn't an easy road. But I thank God.
What was
I
the
thank
road
God.
like? How
I
was the
thank
road
God.
like? Shit, I want to know what the road was like.
You want to know? I just gave you one now. Or
Eh,
is it the fact that I saw him laying down with other ladies in the house?
in the
Or is it
house.
the part that in the house, yes, and I was pregnant at that time? Or is it the part that there was this particular time he told me that I was the one responsible for his unhappiness? There was a time my during my granddad's burial, we had a quarrel, and it was about a particular girl. And this particular girl has always been the reason why we quarrel. I know, we women, we know ourselves. We know when a girl is just trying to be nice. And we know when a girl is trying to be nasty and she's trying to do something that doesn't make sense. We know ourselves, our guts, we know. So I knew this girl that did me well, but he was so blinded by, I don't know what the girl was doing. He was so blinded by her that he saw that everything that she was doing was good. I was the one that was insecure. That was the one that was not seeing anything I was doing right and all like that. Ah, so that particular morning, I was pregnant too. We're quarreling, and then I left the house out of anger that morning. I left the house. I took a walk out of the house, and then he didn't call me. Oh. He didn't look for me. He did not call
That's it.
me. He did not even wonder where did this girl go to with my unborn child. He did not even look for me. I had to, and I didn't have any change on me. I literally, somebody that's in Benin will know what it means to walk from that Ugbo Road to Edo Heritage Hotel, because there was this makeup artist that he was in collaboration with. So that was like the only place that I, because the reason why I even went there was because I went home first and I noticed that he had locked the door.
Mm.
Like he locked the door.
Yeah.
And then I just went to that one's house first, and I was just there. That one was like, "What's happening?" I just told him, "I see what happened though." Because that one self has been seeing some funny attitude. That was already called me one day. I was like, "I don't understand the relationship your husband is having with all these people and all like that. It doesn't know that he's married." Like, me, I've talked. They have turned me to talkative. Like I'm making noise. I've turned to nagging wife. I mean, I don't talk again. So I was there up until the guy was like, he wanted to leave. I mean, when no, it was getting too late. I'd already called one of our pastors in like that were close to and told him what happened. That one was like, what kind of attitude is that? Because that was house is not too far too. What kind of attitude is that? Behave like that. He self has always warned him about that same girl. Imagine like everybody warning about the same person. Like I don't like this your relationship. You are a married man, but I feel like he felt like they were trying to stop him from being happy. And I don't know. I don't know what for what reason and all. So that particular day, he just go back. He didn't say anything. He didn't even ask. Sorry, he didn't ask how are you. He didn't say anything. He just told me. So I was okay. I'd already gone back home, and then he drove, and then he saw me, and then he said, "Are you hungry?" I said yes. And I said, "Let's go and," and I said, "Let's go and eat." That was what he said. And then he took me. We eat. I came back to the house. The next morning, I entered bus straight to my granddad's burial. Can you give me 5 minutes? I'm coming, please, please. No, 5 minutes too much. 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming.
All right. So let's use this medium to, if you are here watching us, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. On this channel, we talk about healing, we talk about faith, we talk about purpose discovery, how you can discover purpose, how you can begin to, love yourself again. If you have ever had, if you, at any point you have lost your self-esteem in any which way, and how to really find and understand of God for you. Those are the things that we do on this channel. So please like, comment, subscribe, and let's take the ride together. We are on a healing journey, purpose discovery journey, self love, finding God's love for us at different time and at different seasons of our life, and of course, building our faith in God. So yeah, our guest is back. Subscribe to this channel. So yeah, let's continue, man. You're still muted, I guess.
It wasn't how I envisioned it to be. Marriage was not how I envisioned it to be. That's it there. So that was sorry, excuse me. Sorry. When you have a toddler in the house, you I have told her I want to do a video, but no, she wants to disturb me. So that's just marriage wasn't what I envisioned it to be, but I've not lost hope. At some point, I did lose hope because I felt like it wasn't for me, and maybe God was just calling me to something else. So right now, it's not like I'm not really psyched about it like I used to be.
Let me call you back to where you were sharing with us the experiences from when you went to your
Yeah.
grandpa's burial. I think we got.
Yes. Okay, so when I went to my grandpa's burial, like that morning, the next morning, I just told him. But because of that quarrel that we had, he wanted to let me go. Normally, we're supposed to have gone together and stayed, maybe staying in the hotel together. But I felt like he just wanted me to leave. So when I left, I went to that was in Delta State. I went for my grandpa's burial. Afterwards, my dad was even asking me because my entire family were there. Ah, where's your husband? Where's your husband? I had to start saying, yeah, he's busy. Oh, he has work. Oh, he will come the Sunday of the
Oh,
this
wow.
thing and all. My dad was like, once he comes to do on Sunday, Saturday that I need him to be here because traditional right and all. There's this money that you will pay, and then my dad was expecting that if he comes around, he will assist financially and all like that. It did not come. My man, I'm like, if only people know what I'm going through, I cannot start telling everybody.
Hmm.
So Isha came that Sunday, and then after a while, he didn't stay long. He didn't stay long. He just greeted everybody, and then we went to see my late grandma together. Went to see that's my dad's mom. Went to see my dad's mom together, and then from there we came back to Lagos, and the whole silent treatment, and everything started. So I I literally had to go through a lot. Even emotionally leave me in their house, especially when we have quarrels. Even so, I felt at some point I felt like I was just being used because I was doing my wifely duties. I was being there whenever he wanted to be good. That's the funniest part. But people are
To
there.
the extreme.
You understand? People are there, so people are
Mm.
seeing that goodness. That's one of the traits of a narcissist. People are
So
seeing the
people will
good.
not
Now it's
believe
not him
when
that
it
goes
when
to the market. Exactly. They don't really believe. So even when I was telling a lot of
especially
when I
when
was
you're saying
telling one of the church we attend, when I was telling the pastor experience, it sounded like was I joking in my ear? Like, it's a lie. That's not the person we know. A lot of his friends, when it happened, they were saying I was the problem. They grew up with him. They saw it. But when they later said seeing some things, they're like, man, it's not miracle at all. He's not
mm,
miracle. This guy needs to fix himself. But that's just life. That's just life. But I knew I coming out of that just added more to my low self esteem. I felt like a lot of these guys they were not serious about me. They just wanted to use and then have their way and then move. Up until when my mindset started changing, that I feel like I was just attracted to the wrong persons, and I didn't know what love was. Yeah, my
mm,
definition of love was wrong. My idea of marriage was wrong, and then, yes, marriage can be lovey dovey, but it has to be something that the both of you have to build together. You cannot be the only person trying to paddle a boat. It has to be two persons. If you paddle it alone, your strength will run out
yes, sir.
quickly. And for you know, yeah. So, but you both have to paddle together for you to be able to get to the end successfully. So it all just ended, and I moved on. I just moved on because it took a while, because at some point the stigmatization became so much on me. I just felt like I just wanted to go back. No matter what I was seeing, let me go back, because I was trying to avoid people's talk and the embarrassment that was causing my family. I just wanted to let me go back. That's what I was saying. Let me go back. It's even to the bad everything. I was willing to go back up until God was like, nah, you go nowhere. You are staying here. So it was in that time that I was being refined and reformed, and God just started working in me. Yeah, true.
Mm. Okay. At what point was the join? What's the question? At what point was the final straw for you? Like,
In
you
the
were
marriage,
like, yeah, like I've had enough. At what point was that for you? Like,
I'll say that, okay, there was this particular time that I was, sorry, who's that? Pick it and tell him I'm on a call. So, it was, um, it was, I'm trying to remember when exactly. But I know that before he asked me to leave, because he was when I asked me to leave, he said I was supposed to leave for a
oh wow.
while. Yes. So the talk was I was supposed to leave for a while, but a while has become 6.5 years. So it was when, yeah, when I gave birth, there was a friend of mine that, a friend. I'll say she was a friend, because she said she came around for me to help me out and stuff like that. But I saw her getting close to him so much
Mm,
that up until the day she had issue with her boyfriend, and then she had the audacity to call him, that's my baby's father, at night, and say, My boyfriend and I just had issues. Please come and pick me. I was like, what
Somebody's
kind
husband.
I was like, in that case, now, I see what your friend is saying. You know, she's saying she's having boyfriend, she's having shoot her boyfriend. She's not there. I said, what's my business? You're the one that gave her the hand because there was an incident that happened a week after I got married where she was sitting on his leg. My mom was there. She was sitting on his leg, and I told her, get up. So as she was about to get up, he pulled her back to sit.
Ah,
My mom was there. This
ah.
time around, she didn't even just sit like this. So my mom was like, so
Hey,
mommy just say, don't say anything. I saw a difference. There's some friends that I've also had my own fair share of bad friends. There are some friends that they are jealous of the small that you are going through. They are jealous of it. You cannot even complain. Once you go and complain to them, it's like you are telling them that you are trying to show yourself to them. I think she was envious at some point of the things I don't know, of the marriage or anything I was going through. And then she wanted it. She wanted what I was enjoying. If only they knew that I was collecting bad boost, emotional bad boost. So so that's the thing. Now funny enough, there was a time I went to meet her to like complain about if this same particular girl that was always causing issues. And then she was like, that when she meets that girl, she change it for her, this, that. But she herself ended up becoming a weapon fashion against me. But the fact is, that after that incident, she knew that me and her were not in good times. So she left the house. That day, gone self, she left the house. She knew that me and her were no longer in good terms. So when she called him that night, it was like, yeah, her boyfriend just told her that he should come and pick her. She was like, I was when I came to say, see your friend though. She said that she come and pick her. No, but it's not as if she's at somewhere close. She's at her boyfriend's house at Uselu, and who were saying at the GRA. Smile. I just say, whatever relationship you have is your business. Is your what is your business? Please don't involve me in this.
mm,
I told him, I said, don't involve me in this at all. Because I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I've seen so much. I have seen so much. I have seen so much. There was this particular night, even after the time I caught him, another woman was laying on him. I just gave birth to the girl came all in the name of she came to greet me as I gave birth. They were sleeping in the parlor. He left me in the room, went to the parlor. Everybody was there in the parlor. Oh. Like I'd seen so much. I don't know. It
nobody
was
was
up to
there,
here.
and she really laid on him.
It was dark now. Everywhere was dark. There was no light. So immediately I sha woke up, I saw that it was not beside me. Immediately I went to the parlor. You know that moments when you touch like the laptop was on. Obviously it was working. I touched the laptop, the light came on. I know there's this noise, like it was as if they heard me coming in and they just splitted. But you could see that he was here, she was here. You understand? So
Mm,
I already knew what was going on before I entered that place.
mm.
I already knew what was going on before I entered that place. So it wasn't
Wow.
a surprise to me at all. It wasn't a surprise to me. So that was one. And then there was a time he went for a job in Warri and he took one of his girls too. That one. But he lied to me that so the next day I got found out that the girl even went with him. And they stayed in the same hotel room and all like that. I just had beg. He was one that told me to leave because I was no longer taking his nonsense and I was telling him exactly what he was doing. I was no
It's
longer
fair.
being fooled. I started telling him exactly what he was doing, that this is what you are doing. And no
Mm,
problem. Yeah. So he actually used an excuse of because there was this old friend of mine then. So that one was like, he was coming to Benin. That he heard that giving birth to that it would be so nice for him to see my baby. And I was like, no problem now. Understand? So that was even asking him some questions why are some men like this? Why would you say you love a woman and then treat her this way? It was like maybe no, I was even trying to side him that maybe he doesn't want to hurt you, maybe it's this, maybe that. I was like, no matter what, you're not supposed to do all those things. So he found out I was talking to another guy. I was talking to an old friend. It wasn't anything romantic. It wasn't anything sexual.
and because they are
It
doing the
just
same thing,
that
they just
particular night.
automatically assume. You're also doing it.
So he picked up my phone and he went to that guy's chat. And it was he,
Imagine.
I there's nothing I'm hiding. I'm not hiding anything because he knows my password, he knows my pin. He now went to my phone, picked up the phone. I was reading the chat to the guy. Guess what he did? He videoed the chat because in his mind he needed evidence to why the marriage can
Just
no longer
yeah.
continue. So when it happened, so that particular day, okay, what even really happened was like Asha just at some point I was very frustrated what was happening. And I remember that particular night he was saying very harmful words to me. He was saying some kind of words. It was like he pitied me. That was why he got married to me. That even with the number of relationships I've been in, he still pitied me and he got married to me. He said all sort of things
Pity.
my sister.
Hey,
So I was so much in
why
pain. I just entered the kitchen. I carry knife. I was like, but somebody just said, see, you want to die because of man. Your daughter is there. Oh. You cannot die because of man. So in that, I was just there. Then he came. In his my mind, maybe as he see saying, don't push me. Ingo, I pray. Oh, the next morning, I don't know why something took me to his phone. As I saw the phone, I saw that he had recorded my chat with this guy. Shebi, if I had something to hide, I would have deleted that video. People should help me
mm-hmm.
and judge. If I had something to hide, I would have deleted the video. I did not say anything
Mm-hmm.
bad. I left the video because I had nothing to hide. But this was the video
Right.
he sent to my father. He sent to my father, he sent to pastor, he sent to everybody saying that how will I be talking to another man when I'm married? This, that. The pastor that knows him, that
He
have been
when
seeing all the things
you
that he
not
has.
see when he has been messing around with women. It all those one. Oh God.
My sister, I saw. So even when he told me he was no longer interested. I should go to this, I should do that. When my dad heard what was going on, my dad called my mom, was like, Miracle, what's going on? I said, Daddy, see. My dad was like, you know what? Come home. You get your papa get house. They go say your papa don't dey stay rented
Yes.
house. Now you have
And
he said, come out.
they come out.
As in so when I go home, for the first 1 week when he came to see my dad, that's why I was dishing out plenty lie. That this, that even with the number of guys I've been with, he still got married to me. That's another thing I tell young ladies. When you're dating, don't tell them
The number
anything.
of guys.
Because I've relationship now. I told him I've been in other relationships, even with the number
Yeah,
of
you are
guys.
open to him.
I was open to him, but that was what he used in front of my father. Oh,
So
that
you
the
guys
number
are
of
friends before you.
yeah. So in front of my father, he was saying that even with the number of guys, almost 7 different guys that she has dated, that she has been with, and then I still pitied her and got married to her. I need to see the way my father was was
Hey,
angry. That
Jehovah.
means you have disgraced me. You have been around, sleeping around. I'm like sleeping around. Ha! I see she. So that day, my dad was like, I should go and beg him, this, that. I'm the reason why my marriage is collapsing. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm this, I'm the reason. That was because my daddy at that point had not heard some things that this guy was doing to me and what I was saying. You understand? It was just
Was
feeling
doing.
that's another reason why I should say when they are not really on your side, when they don't talk to you, if that he sat me down and said, Mimi, what's really happening? And I told him a lot of things I was going through, maybe he would have understood where I was coming from. It was after that incident, my dad now called me, what exactly is going on? And I told him that this is what's going on. This is what this guy has been doing. Should I shock you? After that time that he did all those talk with my dad was like, I should go and beg him. So the room he was staying in our house now, and I went inside to go and beg him. Should I shock you? He told me to kneel down, raise up my hand, and close my eye.
Away.
As in, when I told my mom say, in my house, I did not say anything. You know, we kneel down, raise up your hand and close your
In your
eyes, oh my
parents'
sister.
house.
Yes, so because my dad had given him that morale that what he was doing was right, was this, was that, and all.
Wow.
So my sister, I've seen. In fact, it's even now that I'm remembering some of these things, I've forgotten them.
It's
Oh,
okay.
that was just it. That was just my own that was my own fair share of marriage.
I'm
And
amazed.
that actually did so much. It did so much to me, but in God we trust. In God we trust.
Let me.
Oh
I
God.
drink water and drop cup like this because this is a lot. Ah, it is well.
It is well, my dear.
Is the need that I raise
It
up
is
your hand
well.
for me? Like, really?
Ah, he said I should kneel down, straight up and I close my eyes. Oh. I thought he was joking. He was like, I'm not joking. Are you seeing me smile?
Wow.
My sister,
You know,
narcissist with
you know,
capital letter. If anything
you
bigger
can't,
than capital
you can't
letter.
let that raise up your hand like
I don't know though. My mom, I told my mom was like, "What?" And you did it in this house because even after all those things, he did not still behave himself. Oh. Like my dad was like, he doesn't even know why I even believed a lot of things he was telling me. I said because I remember my dad was coming from a place of, wait, first of all, this was his own reputation at stake. So I understood where it was coming from. So he wanted to just somehow fix it. At some point, he was like, you know what, people should just settle anything that wants to happen. People should just let it happen, not consign me, because he wanted to save his face. You understand? But you know, no matter how much we human being think that something is going to hurt us, God knows why He's allowing what He's allowing.
yeah.
So that was how he never came back. Oh. The plan was that okay, he was going to come back with his family. We are going to finalize the marriage rights before we go back together. He never came back.
Hmm.
So he never came back. That was when we knew that Baba didn't want it any longer. So me myself, I told my dad I should not bother. It's not just the will of God. Even my dad was like, when he came, there was something that told him no, but he just wanted to cover up the mistake and me. That's when I say you cannot use.
A wrong cover
Yes, you
another
understand.
thing.
You cannot use nylon to, yeah, you cannot use another mistake to cover up another mistake. No. It will blow up in your face. So that's what exactly just happened to me. It just blew up in my face. So a lot of person was like, you know that moment what I told you? Because I had very close friend that called me, don't marry this guy. I was like, no, he's nice, he loves me, he wants his child. So
That love me,
that's
yeah.
just it.
That love.
That's the
He dey
love.
shark. He dey shark that time.
I mean, I mean, that was just the boy. We thank God, anyways, that everything worked out for my good. God took out that time and it made me I began to see myself the way God sees me, not the way my experiences has seen me and like made me see myself. So that was just it.
Alright, so
I just thank God.
shared your life and your experiences. My question will now be that how did you now find God eventually and to be the woman that you are now, living purpose, doing purpose, being a force and an impact to younger generation, your ministry, Enlighten Mind Ministry is there. You're doing a lot with that. Your music ministry is also picking up, and if I you, if I would say that I, I would not, I will use the word envy, but I would say that I really love your, your, your tenacity. I think I'm learning that from you. Like you have this tenacity
Wow.
that
Thank God.
going, and I just kind of like, oh, each time I see your post sometimes or the things that you're doing, and I'm like, man, this thing is just. So, at what point did you find God? How did God help you to heal from these experiences? How did you begin to live purpose again and all of that?
So I would say I didn't find God. It was God that found me
Mm,
because at some point I felt like I'd already gone wrong in all manner. I'd already gone wrong in all ways. I felt like everything I'd gone through was, in fact, you know that moment when you say the train went out of its real tracks.
mm,
I felt like I'd already gone so far
mm,
and that God no longer was interested in me and all like that. So up until 2021. Yes, no, 2022. 2022. That was January to be precise. When I before then I've been talking to God, oh God help me. That was when the whole marriage happened and I was begging God to help me heal and like that. I'll say those ones were just I was just doing those ones for to fulfill righteousness. There was nothing like I felt like God was not even listening to me. I was just praying, letting him be like I do not pray. But in 2022, I was tired. I got to understand that I had so much baggage. I had so much trauma. I had so much that was wrong that I needed to correct. And I didn't know how to go about it. Everybody around me was tired of encouraging me. Everybody around me, they didn't know what to say again. They were tired. They've been encouraging. Don't do now. You don't do. Eh? But they got tired. And I felt like that was also one of God's plan because if it had not happened like that, I would have said, okay, it was because of so person. My parents tried, even with everything that happened. My dad got to understand what was really happening and he was trying to encourage me also. Even my mom was there. But at some point, they got tired. In fact, my heartbreak was actually started breaking my own dad's heart. My dad became a little bit depressed. In fact, everything I'd gone through at such a young age, he was depressed. He wasn't happy at all. So I had to go to God. That particular night, I will not forget. It was my father's parlor, and I laid down on the floor and I said, if you don't help me, who will help me? Everybody's tired. I'm even tired of my own self. If you don't help me, where do I want to go to? Eh? Please, I need you. There's nothing. I don't feel like anything is going to work again. I have scattered it and I've scattered the pieces that I don't even know where to put back. I'm confused on what to do. I don't know. And it was at that point that he found me because then he now put me under the care of a pastor then who I was always going for counseling. For like a year I was doing counseling. I was doing counseling and that's the first thing that God used to get me back was making me understand that he still loved me and that he has loved me from the very beginning. He said, even in your mother's womb, I have formed you and I have known you. That means he knew that I was going to go through everything that I was going to go through. And it was there all
Yeah.
along. It was there all along because if that prayer that I prayed, Father, if this is not your will, take me out of this marriage. If he wasn't there, that prayer would have worked.
Mm.
So that was enough to show me that he
Mm.
was in yeah, he was in it. He was with me all the time. He was with me even then when I was with him. When sometimes we'll be so broke and he'll be saying he does not have money. I'll be praying to God that God bring money. Somehow, clients will make bookings, money will come. Somehow. So I started remembering something and I got to see that even in my mess, even in the mistake I chose, even in the mess I made, he was there with me. Oh.
Was
He was there with me all along. He was there with me all along. Even that particular day
there.
that I took a stroll away from the house because I was angry, I was walking on the street of God, GRA. He was there with me. I wonder what people are looking at. Who is this pregnant woman that's walking up and down? He was there with me. He didn't let anything happen to me. You understand? There was no accident. So many times when he would just remind me that I've always been there, he started making me see how he has been there. He has been, even when I didn't know he was there, even when I didn't regard him, he has been there. So now that I have come to him, he made himself known so much. His love was so much. I saw his love in a way that I cannot even imagine. His love was so much for me. Like it was beyond what I thought I could take. It was his love that drew me close to him. It was seeing that even in my mess, no matter what, no matter how far you think you have gone, he is ready to take you back. In
Ready.
fact, he didn't lose you in the first place. You don't have left. He was always there. You were not that left. He was always there. So coming to realize that he's there is what is always there for me was what actually got me back to him. Then little by little, he started working on my mind. I started seeing myself the way he sees me and all. So that was so much for me That was so much. That was how he got me back to him. His love was what drew me close. That's why I'm big on the love of God. I'm so big on it. I'm
Love of
so big
God
on
is
the love of God.
everything.
It's
Love of
everything.
God is
It's everything.
everything.
It's everything. Yes, it's everything. Even when the enlightened mind came up, the funniest part is that the enlightened mind, when he called me the enlightened mind, I was like, how can you call me the enlightened mind when my mind was in shambles? Like I wasn't even in right state of mind. Like the enlightened mind is not something that I am. You understand? It's not something I am. It's something that is forming me to become. So the Enlightenment ministry was is birthed out of a place of we are still on it. We are not there yet. Because even as much as
Mm,
I am healing now, even as much as I am healing now, I'm not there. I'm not the enlightened mind. But he called me that because he wasn't seeing me. He wasn't seeing me based on what was going on or what is going on in my mind.
one answer
Yes, he
God.
wasn't seeing me, and he's still not seeing me that way. So he called me the enlightened mind, and then
Yeah,
that was how he started with. Then he started as going to schools, telling these kids about Jesus, and that for as many who are probably going through abuse in any form, knowing that state, God's love is still there. Yes, a lot of these children will tell how will you say God loves me and I'm still going through this. God love is still there. He did not leave you. You understand? We always think that he has left us, but he has not. Even in that pain, as hard as it to be big, as hard as it is to believe that Jesus is there. He will not leave you. That's just the enlightened mind is something that God is still working on me to become. Yes, that's how it started. That's how it started for me. That's so enlightenment started 2020.
that's the
Yeah.
talent.
You said?
I say that's telling us that God does not see us in the light we
No,
see
he
ourselves at
doesn't.
all, because there is always a
No,
picture
he doesn't.
to where we are going and to for
Yeah.
us.
No. Whew. So much.
I think there are some part of your story that I've not heard before that I heard tonight. And
So that's just it. That's just it. So that's it actually. And funny enough, the enlightenment
it's
ministry will be
cool.
3 years this August. And it's so funny how Yeah,
Wow.
it's so funny how it started up as just wanting to do something because I felt so much in love with the God that was there with me even in my mess. And I wanted the world to
Yeah.
see this God that is always there. He will never that word that says he will never leave you nor forsake you. He meant every word. He meant every word that he said. He will be there with you all the way. He won't leave you. That's it. So I'm just grateful to God. Little by little, we are getting there. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. So what advice would you have for young girls, young ladies, how they're still trying to navigate life, probably trying to find a life partner,
Yeah.
people like, and then how has the healing journey been so far for you? Like, how has it
Hmm.
been?
Okay. I would say the healing journey has been up and down. It has been up and down. I'll be very, very sincere. If I say the healing journey has been smooth, I'll be lying. It'd be a big lie. No. There are days where I should like to, do they call it imposter syndrome or what they call it? There are days where you
Yeah.
just don't feel like yourself. Yes, you just feel like you are living somebody else's life, but that's who God has called you to be. The funniest part is I'm still coming to terms with the fact that this is what He has called me to be. Every single program that the Enlightened Mind has,
Mm,
they were all programs that were inspired by God. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, "Let's do this." No, it was Him that put it in my heart, and He always made a way for it. He always made a way for. You see the school tours that we had, he always made a way.
mm.
I never at some point said, God, we didn't do this. No, you understand. So he always made a way. So I'll say, even till now, I'm still going through the healing journey. because there are some days, like for this program, there's a program I'm hosting in August, and some days I wake up and I'm like, "Shit, I should just cancel this thing." because 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 I feel like, how can I pour into people that I'm not healed? I'm not healed. I'm not totally healed. I'm still going through so
And I'm
much.
not even there.
Like, I'm not there yet. How am I supposed to
Mm,
pour? And then it reminds me that it's really not about me. It's really not about me. The fact is,
of course.
he likes, what God wants is yielded vessels. So you have to yield first, then he's ready to use
Mm,
you. So every single time when I feel that way, I just say, well, I'm not the Holy Spirit. I'm miracle, but I'm filled by the Holy Spirit. I'm filled with the Holy Spirit. I'm not the Holy Spirit. It's not me that will heal the sick. It's not me that will raise the dead. It's the Holy Spirit inside of me that will do that. I'm just a vessel. You understand? I'm just a vessel. So what that actually helps me, even helps humble me. It helps when I feel that way. The Holy Spirit always whispers to me, say, I say, I like the fact that you are feeling like this. Why? Because when you start to feel pride, no, the moment you start to feel self-sufficient, like you don't need anybody, like you have it all, that's where you start
correct.
missing it. That's where you start missing it.
Mm,
But the moments where you feel like, Holy Spirit, how I want to do this thing now? How I want to do this? How I want to do where I want to start from. That's when we're not showing you,
mm,
okay. He always wants us to be vulnerable to him. He always wants us to give, like lay ourselves before him. That's just it. So healing for me is still a journey, but I'm better than I used to be. Definitely much better. And then for my advice to young ladies out there, I would say, first of all, find yourself before you get married. I would say that because if I have found
mm.
myself, if I had worked on myself before I went into a relationship, I definitely would have known that this was not the will of God for me. And another thing, for
Yeah.
as many who probably, okay, you have made that mistake of you're already pregnant, what do I do? Please be sure that marriage is what you want. Let it not be like it's because of the child you are getting married.
Mm, mm,
Please don't do that. If you are getting married, let it be because you're married, you want to be together. Don't get married because of shame. Don't do that. And another thing I would say is love God. Yes. Fall in love with God. When you fall in love with God, you fall in love with yourself because you begin to see yourself through the eyes of God. You begin to see who He has made you to be, who He has created you to be. So that's just it. Yes. That's my advice. Yeah.
If I was
Thank you.
listen, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But
So much gift tonight.
there are some aspects of it that I didn't know before. Like, but
Yeah,
hearing it
yeah.
tonight,
I like,
I was saying,
huh? Yeah.
but then we thank God for restoration. We thank God
Yeah,
for
we
the journey
do.
where you
Yes.
have. And we thank God for the brighter future ahead. We are still going to come back to this video,
It's
when
definitely.
it's when it's now all of what God has actually pictured us to have,
Yeah,
and all of
yeah,
come back to
yes.
shoot this. We'll come back to this by the grace of God. I'm so
Amen.
grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your life. I'm grateful for how God is helping you. I'm grateful for your journey. Not everybody will go through these journeys and survive. Some people will have
Ah,
actually killed themselves. Some
true.
people will even go more wayward than they ever were before. But the
Hmm.
fact that you were able to find God in the midst of all of this is a lot. And I can't just thank God enough for you. For we give God all the glory for your experiences. And I pray that
Thank
God will continue to
you.
strengthen you, continue to
Amen.
uphold you, continue to
Amen.
be with you. Would always, as He has
Amen.
always been there in times of difficulty and in times when you don't even know how to handle your challenges or how to handle life as it were, as he has always been with you, he would continue to be with you by the special grace of God.
Amen. Amen.
I just dropped to my spirit to also tell you that God still loves you and he would continue to love
Oh,
you.
thank you.
So
Thank you.
it's
Thank
with
you.
you this journey and there's a brighter future ahead of this than okay, so one it also drops in my mind now for you that Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60, I think you should go through that after they said, Arise, for the glory of the Lord is upon you. Just finish off the scripture
Mm.
and a
Yes,
lot of
ma.
beautiful, awesome stories in there for you. Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
ma.
much for sharing with us
Thank you so
tonight.
much.
For
Bye.
encouraging. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. God bless you. Live life
Nah,
and stay
thank
in
you.
me.
Bye.
SFA loves you.
Bye. Thank you so much. I love
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye. Yeah.
Love
Bye.
you. Yeah.